Greetings, all you heroes out there. I'm Duuz-Diz-Din, and I'm finally back with another My Hero Academia chapter review. This time it's chapter 242, titled Merry Christmas. Yes, it's Christmas time at UA, and the UA faculty has received a rather suspicious gift, namely the return of the student work studies. As Principal Nezu puts it, that it's actually been kind of almost forced onto them. As Vlad points out, apparently it's being demanded that they do start up the internships yet again. And Midnight points out that it seems like, despite the fact that it seems like the hero world is understaffed, uh, despite the fact that apparently they were trying to kind of weed out any lesser heroes in order that, from this world that was apparently understaffed, almost as if it seems like the entirety of the hero world might very well become going into war, and the kids are being drafted for an upcoming catastrophe. And Principal Nezu points out that it might have something to. Well, actually, no, I should scrap that. That's actually Ectoplasm who points out that it might have something to do with what happened in Denkai City. Apparently, they're starting to feel like apparently the League might be on the move. There must be something really big coming up. The internship kind of feels like a message, and that we're getting all these new heroes trained up in order to face off against any kind of dire situation. Meanwhile, we also see that All Might is still, researching various things and going through everything. And while he's doing that, All Might is working with the police force. Nezu contacts him about the situation as well. The situation of a league spy amongst the students is also presented once again. And because they haven't been able to find anything out, it's still kind of up in the air who it could possibly be. No one has really made any real kinds of movements in that department, although there's still that suspicion that it's Kaminari. But that's a suspicion that we the fans have. Nobody in the actual world has actually kind of come to that conclusion. And even Horikoshi has admitted that he kind of forgot about it for a second. But, we continue onward with Christmas Day as the students of Class 1A are having a merry old time, and I absolutely adore their outfits, especially that their Santa hats actually have the little puff balls on the end, but it's representative of who they are for the most part. And I just absolutely love it. It's the most adorable thing ever. And I'm going to try to kind of point out what each and every one of them are. As Kirishima has a friggin' rock on the back of his head. Aoyama has, what was it? Like a shiny piece on it? I can't. Oh, it was a star. Aoyama has a star. Mina Ashido has a little bit of like a sludge piece, like a piece of goop or slime on the back of her head. Sue has a frog. Ida has a muffler. Uraraka has like a planet, like a gravitational and all that good stuff. Our boy Tailman Ojiro has the fluff that he has on his edge of his tail, so it makes his hat look very common. Kaminari has a lightning bolt, of course. Koda, I think, had a little rabbit on it. I think that's what it is. Sato. He had, I think it was a piece of candy on the back of his. I'm pretty sure that's what it was, like a little piece of candy, Sugar Man. And he's off like baking or something like that, preparing all the massive feast they have going on. I'm honestly kind of doing this for my own sake. Shoji has what looks to be a squid with tentacles. Jiro seems to have a musical note, which is so adorable. Sero has a tape dispenser on the back of his, which I'm just like, oh, that's so gaudy. Tokoyami has, and it's because of the way that his head is shaped, it's kind of like really awkwardly sitting on his head, but I think it was like uh, bird wings, I think, if I can get a better look at the back of his head. I swear it was bird wings or something. Throughout all of this, we also see that Bakugo is like desperately trying not to be involved with any of this, but Mina as well as Kaminari are just trying to sneak the clothing on him whenever he's not looking. Like, they have gotten really ballsy about how they tease Bakugo, but his has basically what looks like an explosion, like boosh, all these spikes and stuff, kind of representative of his very spiky nature. Todoroki has a puffball with half white, half red, like his, hair. Hagakure, of course, Hagakure is representative of her nature of not having anything, being invisible. Hers, she doesn't have one to represent the invisibility and everything, which I think is hilarious. Midoriya's looks really weird because it's representative of his black shaggy hair. So it's like all shaggy and overly wild and just kind of out there. I'm really wondering who put all of this together. And to top it off, Mineta has one of his puffballs on the end of his, and Yaoyorozu has a book because nerd. So, if any of you were wondering about all of this and couldn't make any of them out, there you go. But, as everything's kind of going underway, and the students have been informed about the internships and all that, a lot of them are kind of wondering what they'll be doing or where they'll be going. And with the situation with Night Eye, it's kind of questioned, what's he going to do? Now that Night Eye is no longer involved, with Kirishima thinking, well, you can just still go to his office. Cinder Peter took over, but unfortunately, they're now massively involved in so much because of the fact that Night Eye had too many, sticks in the fire. He had so much going on, that he was doing by himself, that, Bubble Girl and Centipede are just completely bogged down. Not to mention Gran Torino is still, involved with the investigation. So, Deku's kind of at a loss for the most part. And when it's asked of Bakugo where he'll be going, if he'll try to go for Best Jeanist, Bakugo remembers that apparently Best Jeanist has gone missing. And we actually see that Bakugo had a higher of Night Eye than it always seemed like he did, because he has a flashback to the time when he first met up with Best Jeanist. During that time when Best Jeanist tied him down and was combing out his wild, messy hair. And they were talking about Bakugo trying to choose a proper name, and how Explosion Murder King and Explosion Murder Lord and Explosion Murder were all rejected. And Best Jeanist wanted Bakugo to come back to him one day after he got his provisional license and tell him what the name that he's chosen after that point. So I like that little bit of relationship building for Bakugo, despite how volatile he acted towards Best Jeanist, that he respected Best Jeanist in his own way, especially considering that now Best Jeanist is like, the number 3 hero for the most part. I think he was the number 3 hero. And now that Best Jeanist is missing, it's obvious that Bakugo would like to one day meet back up with him sometime in the future. So there's no real knowing what's going to happen to either of them past this point. But Sugar Man comes in, he's baked all this various different stuff, and like, oh man, this guy is amazing. But even better, even sweeter than Sugar Man is Eerie, coming in her adorable holiday look. And because she's been away from so many traditions, she's kind of gotten her holidays confused, that she comes in saying trick or treat, which I would give her all the goodies at this point. And as everyone surrounds her, in order to be like, oh, she's so cute, she's adorable, oh my goodness. She's come to spend some time with the class. Her horns got a little bit bigger. Apparently she's been fairly optimistic for the most point, and it seems like she's really looking forward to this holiday with everyone, as they all sing carols and have a fun time, eat snacks. Like, man, this party is absolutely bumping. And we even get to see them do a present exchange where, everyone puts the presents into a pile. Everyone has Sarah tie some tape around these various different strands, and everyone gets their own little thing. The downside is everyone has these various different interest and stuff. So Kaminari gets a basketball, Ida gets solid gold, Minna gets what looks to be a dumbbell, Sero gets a frog themed mirror. Jiro gets a present from Sarah, which is a very overly gaudy, like, blanket or shawl or something. Mineta gets a picture of Aoyama, which is absolutely hilarious, and Bakugo winds up with some glasses from Ida. And best of all, Deku and Ochaku end up actually getting each other's gifts, and I think Ochaku had given a gift of what I think was like mochi in like a bag, a mochi snack, and Uraraka ended up getting this little All Might keychain. And the present that Tokoyami had put in the pile was this Buster Sword looking JRPG sword that Eerie ended up getting, and I love that. Like, I swear to God, I want her to actually wield that in the future at some point. But as the party comes to a nice little conclusion, and as everyone is cleaning up, Shoto approaches Bakugo as well as Midoriya, and comments on the fact that they don't seem to actually have a place to go for their internship. And he does something that nobody could have expected, that he suggests that why don't they come intern at the office of Endeavor. Whoa! The big three of the youngest class interning with the #1 hero? Absolutely insane. This is going to get wild. Like, I know a lot of people weren't looking forward to getting back to, training, but it's like My Hero Academia, they're still learning. And it's going to be very interesting to see them learn from the #1 hero. And to see Bakugo's personality clash with someone who is just as volatile as he is. And Midoriya didn't have the best impression of Endeavor the last time they met, even though Endeavor did, once they had that one face-to-face when Izuku kind of read Endeavor the riot act, and then Endeavor did save Bakugo that one time as well. So, Deku, I mean, from that one flying Nomu. So, we'll just have to wait and see how these events go down. But a fun, chill out chapter, because I'm sorry, like, after all the wild and crazy stuff that happened during the villain arc, I need some downtime, yo. Settle back into things. Let the villains work in the background so that we can be surprised and interested and not know what they're up to. That way when they actually strike, it's just like, oh, snap. I can't believe it. Like, I want that feeling because, seeing everything that was going on with the villains to find out they had no plan, they had nothing going on, it's just kind of like, okay, guys, you're really kind of dragging me down. I thought you guys were in a good place, but I guess not. But by the end of that story arc, they were bigger and better than I ever would have expected. And that was a great way of showing how they amassed all that power. Because if they just showed up with a whole legion of followers, I would have been like, what? That doesn't make any sense. What's going on here? But this, very nice, very good stuff. But tell me your thoughts and theories in the comments section below. Did you love how adorable Eerie looked? And how do you feel about the fact that it seems like the Hero Association might actually be building up the younger students in order to prepare them for a potential all-out battle on the front lines as they get ready for the new evil organization that is looming on the horizon. Happy days won't last long, and it's only a matter of time before we find out who that traitor is. So eat, drink, and be merry, because there are many battles ahead. UA can only stay out of the crossfire for so long. But again, tell me your thoughts, feelings, and theories in the comment section below. If you liked this video, leave me a like. If you didn't, feel free to give me a dislike and tell me what I did wrong in the comment section below. Subscribe and hit the bell icon. That way you never miss out on another My Hero Academia chapter review. And until the next video, just remember to celebrate, have some fun with your friends where you can, because you never know what kind of tragedy might just be in the coming days. Until next time, I'm Duuz-Diz-Din, and it's high time I went to bed. Bye-bye.